Adults for can be tag questions. Now, my quick advice for tag questions in speaking is you can just use the word right to check information. It's cold today, right? But it is more natural in English to use what we call tag questions. And a tag question takes the auxiliary verb from our sentence that we just said, changes it so positive becomes negative, negative becomes positive, and you match the same pronoun. I'll show you what I mean. So we have here, it's cold today, isn't it? Our pronoun is it. We duplicate it, we repeat it. And our auxiliary is there. It is, isn't it? It's cold today, isn't it? You're Peruvian, aren't you? We take the same pronoun, the same auxiliary verb, but we change positive to negative, negative to positive. But what about sentences like this? They live in Ankara. What's the auxiliary? Well, we don't see the auxiliary in the present simple for positive sentences, but it still exists, right? Our auxiliary for the present tense is do and don't. So the first part of our sentence was positive, so our tag is negative. They live in Ankara, don't they? The game ends at 8 o'clock, doesn't it? The game is a thing, it's it. So the auxiliary is does, changed to negative, doesn't. Your sister worked in the US, didn't she? Again, this sentence is past simple, and past simple positive doesn't use an auxiliary, but it still exists. And the auxiliary is did, didn't for the past simple. So didn't she is the tag. We've met before, present perfect. Here, the auxiliary is easier to remember because we can see it. We have met before, haven't we? And with the future, it's quite easy. You will be okay, won't you? Will, won't. For future, you'd go on vacation with me, wouldn't you? Our auxiliary is would, so wouldn't is in our tag. And it's the same when we have a negative verb, we have a positive or affirmative tag. She isn't here today, is she? You aren't angry, are you? They don't like pizza, do they? Lucy doesn't eat meat, does she? You didn't like the movie, did you? Mike hasn't been to Beijing before, has he? You won't tell anyone, will you? And Sue wouldn't quit her job, would she? So to remember, same pronoun and the auxiliary changes from positive to negative or negative to positive. If it's present simple, we need to use the auxiliary do. And if it's past simple, we use the auxiliary did. Okay, let's practice a little. We have part A, 10 questions, match the sentence to its tag. For example, you know that man, don't you? Present simple. So the tag was don't you. Pause and complete 10 questions. Okay, let's match together. Number one, you're going out with him, aren't you? Our auxiliary was the verb to be. You are going out with him, so the tag is aren't you? Two, you haven't told your family about him, have you? So present perfect, negative, positive tag. Three, you met him last month, didn't you? Here is the past simple, so our auxiliary is did. Change to negative, didn't. Four, you were at the same party, weren't you? Five, you didn't know he was a criminal, did you? Six, you aren't happy in the relationship, are you? Negative sentence, positive tag. 7, you don't want to see him again, do you? 8, you will tell us the truth, won't you? 9, you won't tell any lies, will you? Sorry, be there. And you understand what I'm saying, don't you? Okay. Okay, part B, we need to complete with the tag question. Add the tag to check the information. For example, your name's Jack is a complete sentence, but the tag checks the information. Your name's Jack, isn't it? A name is an it. This is not Jack. This is Jack's name, which is an it. Your name's Jack, isn't it? Number one, oh, sorry, pause and complete 10 questions. And we can check together. Number one, your brother works at the gas station, doesn't he? I need to give a pause, a real pause, back in a okay, I needed to pause because you weren't here right. Sorry, let's continue. Part B, number one, your brother works at the gas station, doesn't he? This is present simple and about your brother, who is he. So we use does or doesn't, not do, don't. Number two, they don't have any proof, do they? Number three, that man isn't the murderer, is he? Our auxiliary here was the verb to be, so we use the verb to be in the tag. 4, you were a witness to the crime, weren't you? Here we have past simple. 5, the police have arrested someone, haven't they? Present perfect, positive, so the tag, haven't they? 6, the woman wasn't dead, was she? This is past, so our tag with was. 7, that girl took your bag, didn't she? This is past simple. We don't see an auxiliary in the main sentence, but to create one, we need did or didn't because it's past simple. 8, he won't go to prison, will he? It's the future. 9, you haven't seen the suspect, have you? And 10, they didn't have enough evidence, did they? So same pronoun, we repeat in the tag, and the difficult part can be to find the right auxiliary, especially for present simple and past simple. For present perfect, future, it's much easier, right? But to change that from positive to negative or negative to positive. So it works a little bit differently to how it works in Spanish. But honestly, as I say, this isn't the best English, but if you need to just say this very quickly, you can just use the word right, right? Your brother works at the gas station, right? They don't have any proof, right? And you're still checking the information. It is more natural to use a tag and it shows you understand English a lot better. It shows you in a better light. But if you needed something very quick, then that's also an alternative. Congratulations, you did it, didn't you? You got to the end of level 4. Level 5 should be available for you to continue and practice with. As I have said before in these videos, I think level 4 is possibly one of the most difficult levels, even though it's just intermediate English for these grammar classes. The reason for that is you introduce concepts that we are going to repeat and expand on in Adults 5 and Adults 6. So it might be a good idea if you have problems in level 5 and level 6 to come back to these videos because I'm explaining the concept, the introductory concept of things like first, second, third conditionals, the passives, relative clauses, and quantifiers, because we will understand those. Past tenses is a big one too. We will understand these concepts in more detail in level 5 and level 6. But for now, great job. Well done. Buy yourself a treat. Have a tea, have a coffee. You did it. We'll see you in the next level. Take care. Bye bye.